It's in process. I wanted to convert the garage into 2 bedrooms, so that's being permitted. All the structural permits are done. It's just this flood department that is taking too long. Structural department actually took about 50 days to approve everything. Flood department is going on for about a month. It's just in their queue. They're processing it. They don't need to do anything just to see it and prove it, but I guess they haven't seen it yet. Hey, let me take you through the property first.
Yes.
Hopefully that can tell you more about what is going on here. So this is the house. Now, this is by a corner lot, so there is some parking on the street as well. But the good part about this property is there's a lot of parking in the backyard, which we're going to show in the end.
That is one of the best parking space we can get, right? If we can park in the back.
Correct. So a few things that I like to do in my houses is making sure we have numbers, making sure we have a mailbox, a
Okay.
remote lock. This is a Google lock.
Okay.
You can just like
So,
any remote lock.
so everything is controlled on one app, right?
That's the goal. Everything should be on one Google app. Okay.
That
So
is
coming in,
nice.
house was originally a 3 bedroom, 2 bathrooms. Right now it's standing at 5 bedrooms, and as soon as the garage is done, we're gonna have 8. So
Nice.
our left, this is 1 bedroom. Good part about this is all the bedrooms are about 100 square foot. These are those electronic locks that I think Bobby uses too. So that again, this is our favorite. Making sure we have a ceiling fan and smoke conductor. The windows are up to interest. Some artwork for now. No furniture put in here. Coming in, this is the living room. We did have a fireplace in this house. We closed it off, turned the gas off, and basically covered the top. Now we can't really have anything, any sort of fire. Now it's just an accent wall. So,
Nice.
so the goal is we're probably going to have to put a bedroom here. So if you see from this corner all the way to here, we're going to have a bedroom. So I hope this looks nice because this is an awkward bedroom. Other bedrooms are, your normal. This one has this weird accent. So we're going to try to put like some sort of, desk here, bed set here. So we're going to try to make it look nicer. But yeah, for now, this is slightly awkward. So this originally was just an open space. We made like 2 bedrooms here, and one at the back that we just saw. So
Okay.
these are 2 additions. Again, same stuff, ceiling fan, smoke director, AC, windows that meet the egress code, artwork, and a switch. So going forward to the next bedrooms, these are the original bedrooms. The original ones obviously come with a closet, but other than that, same stuff. This is the second one. This is one of the bathrooms. And this was the master suite.
A big bedroom.
Yeah, and it has its attached bathroom as well. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put up a wall that is basically going to allow us to use this as a common bathroom. So you come in, you go here, and you move like this. On your left is going to be the bathroom, and on your right is going to be a door to the rest of the room. So the room is going to be an L shape, if you can imagine. It is
Yes.
a L shape, but good part is that it's still going to be, more than 100 square foot. So it is going to be pretty big. We did
Yeah, it's
not,
very big room.
yeah, we did not have any window here. So what we did was, the original room had a sliding door. The sliding door stays, and that's going to be used for the second form of egress.
Okay.
Any questions so far?
That is nice. Is there a possibility like to add a bathroom?
In one of the bedrooms?
A bathroom
In one of the bedrooms or master suite?
Yeah, either for private or shared. That way you can have more private bath.
Yeah, if I could, I would probably do that in the garage because these rooms are, these size rooms, I wouldn't want to compromise on that. In the garage, obviously, we have some space. I didn't really get permit for it, and it was costing me about $7,000 to add that bathroom. So I ran the numbers of, I obviously see the value in having a bathroom, longer tenure, better rent. But yeah, I ended up not doing it.
Okay. Okay.
So this is the kitchen area. We did redo some of the kitchen. So this house, when we purchased it, it had a lot of work. I mean, the foundation, the plumbing, everything was off. This is the small dining area. This is the kitchen. All the new appliances. When I say new, I mean new for this house. These are all dented appliances. Come with a warranty.
Good size of the kitchen.
Fair size, yeah. It's not too big, but yes.
Correct.
And
Yeah, too big
Here,
is not good either.
here, this is the laundry. You have the second fridge here. This is the garage. No work has been done in the garage so far, but we're gonna have two bedrooms here, right in the center. Each of the garage doors are gonna have its own windows. The garage doors are gonna go out, walls and windows, room in the center. If I were to have a bathroom, I would probably have put it here somewhere and maybe have this as an attached. But yeah, I didn't end up doing it. So for now, this garage is only gonna have two bedrooms and a small water heater closet.
Okay, so you will have a 3 bedroom out of that garage.
Just two.
Okay,
Two in the
that is
garage, and then one here in the hallway where this fireplace is.
okay. The third one, I see.
Yeah. And these two that we made in the front entry, and then three originals. That's gonna be eight total.
That is
So
nice.
when we,
Me too.
when we purchased this house, I think the purchase cost was about 200,000, and this was an 1,800 square foot house with three bedrooms, two bathrooms. This house had a electrical issue, plumbing lines need to be replaced. The well, obviously the AC needed to be upgraded to the point that it just needed service. But the biggest things were the foundation and yeah, the house this seemed very old because it was built in 1960s. Every room had like a small intercom. This was a place where there used to be an intercom. Yeah, I guess back in the day this used to be a very good house, but yeah, it was cost me about $30,000 or $25,000 all in without the furniture, $30,000 with the furniture to renovate this house and bring it up to, past the requirements and the eight bedrooms. The actual renovation for this, so I did this phase to do the appraisal because it's easier for the appraisers to see a house like this and, give a price rather than having a lot of bedrooms and they get confused. They don't know what to appraise for.
Yes.
So as per the lender's suggestion, we did this in phases, and obviously I wanted to wait for the permits. Now the permits are taking a bit too long, so we're still waiting on that. But the actual renovation took me about 2.5 weeks, and that includes all the foundation and everything. And then if the permits were approved, we would probably need one more week to finish everything up. When I say finish, I mean adding a room here, adding two rooms in the garage, all the furniture, and just small minor items like we have a vent cover missing here. We have some bulbs missing in one of the fixtures, some small items.
So Adil, how much would you rent per room?
So this area, again, in Houston, it varies a lot. Some pockets in Houston rent for a lot, some for low. This area, I'm looking at about an average of 170, 175. So I'm gonna try to start at 175. We can always bring the price down. So 170, 168 is gonna be my bottom. Yeah, 175 I'm gonna start with.
And can you start renting while you're converting the garage, or would that won't be like a good idea?
I don't like to do that because again, you have to think of it in two ways. One, it's not a good member experience. They're coming into a house, they want to consider it as their own house. They are coming from work. Last thing they'd want is for construction to be going on, or the city to be coming in and asking, hey, what's happening and whatnot. Second thing, even for the city, if people are moving in and out of the house, it's not easy for the city to work for inspect, and for the contractors to work either. So hoping to do this before getting any other tenants in.
So for the appraisal, so you mentioned that you wanted to be appraised just the stage at right now, as it is right now. How did you actually get how did you fund it? Was it traditional? Did you have to put like 20% down, or how did you do all that?
Yeah, so I went with the hard money guy. I put in 10%, and they funded the rest, including the construction loan. Um, Usually, it happens in a lot of different ways with these guys. I remember the first deal we closed on. The problem with that was the traditional lender took too long, and the seller was kind of getting anxious. So we had to get a hard money guy in that could close in 4 days. They took like 30% down, so that has also happened. But for this deal, yes, 10% down. We closed the house, and now we got a cash out refi, and off of that refi, we're gonna, I guess, get some money back and pay the previous lender.
Okay. Yeah, so that's another way then. So how much are they appraising? I mean, how much are they, do you think you'll be able to like refi
Yeah,
into?
so I was only able to qualify. Well, I don't know what the criteria was, but essentially I was only able to get about 75% cash out. So this house, all in, let's say I bought it for 200, I spent like $30,000 on it, so 230. The house got appraised for 264. So leaving 25% in, the rest of the 75% I'm going to take out. Off of that 75%, I'm going to have to pay back the previous lender, including their construction loan, which was 30,000. And then, I'm probably going to be able to pocket about 12,000. That's what I'm hoping for.
Oh, wow. Okay. Got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
cash on cash, I'm looking at about, I would probably be about $20,000 all in cash on this property. And having said that, it's yeah, I think so. And cash on cash, I'm probably looking at 65% return cash on cash if
Oh, wow.
this goes as well as I hope so.
Okay.
The good part is that we're not the first ones doing it. We already see a lot of people do this, and me being part of PassFit, I see this firsthand. So many hosts getting so much success. So yeah, I'm pretty confident that this is going to be about 60, 68, 70% cash on cash.
That's amazing. And what is your cash flow? What's your projected cash flow?
So let's say if you're aiming for 175, that's 700 room. So that comes out to 5,600 best case scenario. And taking 12% out for pad split, taking some percentage out for vacancy, let's say 20%, that's like 1,100 or even 1,200, let's say. So minus 1,200, my mortgage is coming out to 2,200, 2,100. So minus that, my utilities, I'm expecting about 500. This house has no gas, so it's all electricity. So just the electric bill, water bill, and Wi-Fi. So that's coming out to, let's say, 500. Then I am looking at, yeah, there's going to be, so I'm going to imagine this property myself. So there's always going to be some management aspect of it, and some I guess repairs to be done. So let's leave 500 for there. So that's like 1,300 left, and this is best case scenario. Worst case scenario, we can take 20% off of this, so which is going to be $1,000 still. So pretty good.
Okay. Got it. Got it. And then who was your hard money? Is it a part of sorry, are they a part of the community with Pad Split, or are they completely like independent? Are you able to?
Yeah, so Hasler tries to, I guess, not build a community. We want to make sure that we are vocal about just being a marketplace. The reason for that is if you try to be a lot of things, especially in a market as noisy as co-living or as loud as not noisy as real estate, we're not going to be able to, I guess, have people understand what we do. So we try to stay away from all of these things or partnering up with, let's say, lenders or contractors, but we do have preferred people, preferred lenders, preferred realtors, preferred property managers, people who understand our product. And this was one of those lenders. So a lender who has done past bid deals before, he knew what to expect. He knew what we're trying to do, to the point that he's also a host. Once he learned about past bid, he ended up, buying some of his own. Having said that, he was the one who financed my deal.
Okay. So for the hard money though, Adil, were you able to get the 10% for a year, or was that like for 6 months? What was your timeline?
I think it was just 6 months.
6 months. Okay.
Yeah.
And for anyone though that wants to get into the business, how would you scale this? And how would you get your second property? Have you thought about that, or have you
Yeah,
looked at?
so I got my second property. End of the day, I mean, for me, it was about prioritizing this. Once I started prioritizing this, I purchased my second property already. Uh, that is being closed upon right now. Learning from this, I've already started on the permitting. When I say started, I mean creating the plans and everything and talking to the HOA. So that house is in an HOA. I would never recommend anyone to buy a pass it in an HOA, but I mean, there's a lot of due diligence that you have to do. I mean, I did my homework. I learned what the HOA requirements were. I talked to the HOA. Once they were okay with it, then I moved forward. So all those things are already done. But given the fact that a lot of people find houses in HOA, they can't really, do all these extra steps. As paths that we would always want to stay away from HOAs. Having said that, yeah, the second property, same thing. I did have some cash, so I bought the second one. Similar scenario, 10% down, and yeah, looking for the next one.
That's amazing. And how long were you looking for your first one? How many months or?
So I've been putting offers for a while now. I'd say about 3-4 months. Finding the right property or finding a property has always been an issue. So, especially if you try to corner yourself and try to put yourself into an analysis paralysis where you're trying to find the best property, the golden property, the unicorn. That's the worst thing you can do for yourself. That took me about 4 or 5 months of wasted time that I could have used, especially for the first, so especially in real estate, the first 2 quarters are always the best. So it's always best to get your properties in the first 2 quarters. So the fact that I didn't and I was just waiting to find the right property, I just wasted a lot of time. And after that, once I tried to prioritize buying properties, I just got a lot more aggressive, stopped looking for the right property, stopped looking for, the ideal one. Because you can always find a lot of things that are wrong with a single property. But in reality, you only need about 1 or 2 things that are going your way to actually buy that property.
Yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely.
once I expanded the buy box, it allowed me to look into a lot more properties. So just for reference, I mean, I was trying to buy something that was under 200. I was trying to buy something that had X amount of, square footage and this and that. It's trying to be over 2,000 square foot. It's just, limiting yourself.
Yeah.
Once I tried to be more open to other ideas, it didn't take too long to acquire this one.
Amazing. Yeah. And how many parking spots total? You mentioned that there's also
Yeah.
access in the backyard.
Let me take you guys to the backyard.
If everything goes well, let's say the conversion is done, are you able to go live within, let's say, 3 weeks from now or 2 weeks from now?
Yeah, so I talked to the inspector earlier this week. He said that he's gonna get this approved this week. So today's Friday. If he does, it shouldn't take us more than 4 or 5 days to finish all the construction, and it should be live in the next week or so. Having said that, I'm not too confident in the inspector. It's already 12 noon here. So yeah, whenever he approves it, we're gonna take about 5 days to finish everything up. So this is the backyard. What we're doing here is we're gonna put this on concrete. We're gonna extend the driveway a bit of here as well. This is what it actually looks like. So we're gonna have about 6 cars parked here. And then driveway that goes on the outside. And on the street, we also have about 4 cars in front of our house. So 3 in the front, 6 in the back. Sorry, 2 in the front, 6 in the back. We should have about 8 car parking.
Understood. Okay. Are you, do you recommend doing a conversion for your next one? You mentioned something about pulling more permits. Are you converting, are you converting garages and all of that again for your second property?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't learn, so I'm doing it again. Would I recommend it to anyone? Probably not. If you can stay away from garage conversions, it's best. But again, end of the day, it's about what you're comfortable with as an investor. I have a lot of background in construction. I've done a lot of permitting, especially for new builds. So I was kind of confident going into it that, hey, it's not the worst. But so that's why I kind of, took this over. Even for the next property, when I was underwriting it, I underwrote it for the garage conversion. But right now, I'm actively looking for properties ideally that does not need a conversion. So yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. Got it. Well, it looks great. It looks great.
Easier.
Yeah. So Bobby, for you, every time I send like 2 stories, you always have some concerns. What is the concern with a single story to a 2-story? What's the
A little bit less flexible when it is a 2-story. So we need to have a clearance for that stairs, and also how people can access that stairs. So there's a lot of space that we have to waste for the passage.
Okay.
Yeah, I prefer a 1-story, but it doesn't mean that 2-story doesn't work. But 1-story is just a lot easier.
Okay. Got it. All
I
right.
guess the opposite side of the coin would be, so exactly like Bobby said, 1 story is a lot easier. 2 stories are slightly more, I guess, cost effective. The acquisition is cheaper. So if you can get a good deal on a 2-story, definitely not shy away from it. I know a lot of properties in both Houston and Dallas that are 2-story properties and are doing really well. But like Bobby said, it just wastes a lot of time. So wastes a lot of space. So let's say if you have a property that is 2,000 square foot, you need to understand that about 300 of that square foot is going to be wasted just because of the staircase. Having said that, a 2,000 square foot property that is 2-story is going to be cheaper than a 2,000 square foot property that is a single story. That's not always the case, but it should be because it's cheaper to make. But single story houses are more desirable, they look better, all these things. So usually they're cheaper.
Oh, okay. Got it. Got it. Yeah, because then you have to account for the actual staircase, how it's laid. Is it circular? Is it like, straight shot, or does it have like a landing and all of that? And I can see how it could actually eat up a lot of the square footage, and then of course the first and the second floor. So yeah.
Yeah, even after that, let's say there is a landing, you have to leave, 3, 4, 5 feet outside the landing for people to, I guess, maneuver themselves. So 5 feet on the first floor, 5 feet on the second floor. You can't really put anything too close to the staircase because it's going to look too odd. So all these things come into play and kind of, end up wasting a lot of space.
Okay. Got it. Wonderful. Okay. So for a deal for anybody that's looking for their first one, their first pet split, what are your recommendations? What are your suggestions that they do? And yeah, as far as the lending goes, that's something that I'm also curious upon. But hearing your version actually, it gives me more options. So that's great.
I mean, just to be very clear, lending is not fun, especially in this climate. This property that we're standing in right now, the rental comps were about $1,700. My payment is coming out to 2,100. So going a traditional lending route, it rarely works. So I was lucky that we are gonna, use the passive strategy and try to maximize the cash flow. That's the only way for me to make this work. But if I were to use it as a single family, or it just wouldn't work. So finding, let's say, if you're getting a good sub two deal, that's always ideal. But if you are gonna go the lending route, understand that the numbers are not gonna be as good as you would expect. I mean, I would expect that this, if it makes sense for a single family, then I would buy it. But you just don't find properties like that anymore because they're, especially on the MLS, they're just far too scarce. So if you're trying to find your first property, try to see if you could get something off market. It's always good. Um, Try to partner up with a good contractor. Don't shy away from work. Having said that, stay in your lane. If you know financing, or if you don't know financing, work with a good finance partner. If you're not too comfortable with a lot of permitting or construction, try to stay away from it, or get properties that don't need a lot of that. So just stay in your lane. I guess that's the biggest thing. And yeah, for the right property, I guess if the just get with anyone over at PadSplit. They're usually very good at helping you understand what to underwrite it for. And a lot of vocal hosts like Bobby, especially, they're really good, really cooperative. They help you understand what to expect. So get with anyone who understands PadSplit so that you can underwrite your deals better. And once you do, I guess a lot of properties are going to make sense that otherwise would not have.
Got it. Absolutely. As far as market goes, what would be like the best markets that would work for PadSplit? Like which ones? Which cities?
So we're in some limited cities as core market. It's all on our website, but essentially we're big in Georgia, Atlanta especially. We're expanding in markets like Vegas, Phoenix, special thanks to Pace there. But yeah, Texas, Florida, NOLA, all these things. As far as the best market, I know right now, let's say if you're standing in Texas, Texas is doing really well. Texas is at 92% occupancy. Georgia is doing 95% occupancy. So Florida is doing really well as well. So wherever you can find a good property, just get with a person, I guess, because even in markets, let's say like Houston, some pockets are doing really well, some pockets are not. Some pockets are always 100% occupied, but then you have some that are always, 70, 80, 90%. So I guess getting with someone who understands the market, talking to them about it. But if you're looking at properties remotely, I'd say Texas, Florida, Vegas, I really like Vegas, and obviously Atlanta. These markets are the hottest.
Okay. Awesome. Got it.
Yeah, for market, I pick in my backyard, which is Dallas. So far, yeah, Dallas has a very high occupancy rate. Um, so that is where I invest only for now. Um, yeah, you may want to consider also on your backyard in Vegas if you can find a property.
Saw the listings on PadSplit on Vegas, and there's a lot of listings. So I'm looking at like competition. There's probably I think like 18 pages on there, actually.
Yeah, so 18 pages, that I guess that would include a lot of the properties that are, I guess, coming soon. They're not exactly listed. Having said that, the more properties you see in a market is usually a good sign. It's a sign of a healthy market. So let's say in Houston right now, I know that we have about 50 rooms that are available. So from an outside perspective, they would say that, hey, there's already 50 rooms that are available. Why would anyone book from me? But you need to understand that even with 50 rooms, if you're at 92% occupancy, that means that we had about, 500, 550 rooms. So if there are 50 available, that means that there's already 500 that are already booked. So it means that, it's a healthy market. Last thing you'd want is, let's say in a market like Dallas. Dallas is very unique because in Dallas you rarely see like 5, 6 bedrooms available. And the reason for that is because there's just, I guess, not enough properties and just a lot of demand. So even if you see 5, 6 rooms and you're like, hey, there's so many rooms available, understand that most of them are occupied. So at 92% occupancy, statistically, if you bring your property live, it should have majority of it occupied.
Okay, got it, got it.
You mentioned the cost that you put in for the construction is 30,000. That
Yes.
is very low compared to the jobs that you described. I don't think we can find the construction cost that much.
I guess you're right. I think I should have put a disclaimer out there first. Since I am in construction, so a lot of these things and a lot of the relations that I have, where a lot of the people that I work with, I know they did it on cost to cost basis. So I know that is something that most people will not get access to. Having said that, you can still get fairly decent prices. You can still, I mean, the average construction cost for most people is around 40,000. Obviously, I was at 30, even with all these discounts, because I had to undergo foundation repairs, I had to undergo electrical repairs, and I even replaced all the plumbing lines. Most people don't have to do that. So, yeah, even if you go to a retailer route, even if you work with a good contractor, they should be close to this, if not around 30 to 40,000. Also, I mean, just pick a good guy. Try to work with him. The more you work with him, the more you're gonna get better prices and all these things. Is just your average construction route.
Yes, the one I work with a lot. Yeah, I think they will. I think with the labor combined with the materials, I think it will cost me somewhere between 40 to 50,000. I think your price is really good.
Yeah, I think I'd agree. 40 to 50,000, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I know all in, let's say if you're looking at a property, there's two things that I wanna, I guess, look out for. I want to make sure that however much money I put in, I'm still under the comps. So let's say the property was evaluated at 264. So I want to make sure that I don't put in more than $64,000 in this property, so that I'm still under comp. That's the first thing. Second thing is, even if you're going over comps, that I know a lot of hosts do, still fine, because at the end of the day, the only way for this to, I guess, for the numbers to make sense is going through the pass bid route. So if you're getting, $5,000, $6,000 off your property, uh, is going the extra mile and having all in at 300, because I know a lot of hosts are all in 300, a lot of hosts are all in 350. The numbers still make sense, especially if you're
Yes.
getting a good deal on, let's say, a sub-2 property, or you're getting a good deal from a lender. I mean, with me, like I said, I'm going to be paying $2,100 on just the mortgage, and the comps are just $1,700 on rent. So it's already, a lopsided deal. But for me to
Uh,
make it work, this is the only way for me to make it work.
yes. In Texas, yeah, that will be the case. Since the property tax increased so much, the PITI will increase a lot. That will affect the insurance also. So when the house's value is assessed higher, insurance will increase automatically. So yeah, that will always be the case, that we cannot cash flow using the regular rent.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because 2, 3, 4 years ago, even at $2,100, $2,200 of mortgage, you could probably afford a property that is about $400,000. Right now, you're only affording a property that is $200,000, so almost double. It's
Yeah, with the interest rate keep climbing. So right now, well, today the Fed will speak. So I think we may see another increase. Without any increase, right now, for the primary residence, interest rate is about 7.5 already. And for us, investor, the conventional investor will be about 1% higher, which is 8.5%. And if we are using a DSCR, will be even more than that, maybe like 9% or more. So it's going to be to increase a lot of PITI in there.
Yeah, I mean, you can, sit on the sidelines and wait for things to get better before you start buying. But I guess one thing that I learned is the best time to invest in real estate was yesterday, but the second best time is today. So
Yes,
keep buying, try to stay afloat, and just dollar cost average. Don't stop buying. Buy in good times, buy in bad times, but just keep buying slowly and gradually instead of trying to time the market and I guess trying to find that golden deal or the golden era.
yes. Actually, when market is bad, that is the best time to buy.
Yeah, but then it's very hard for the numbers to make sense. Even, the prices are slowly coming down, but they're not,
Yeah,
drastically coming down. Having said that, the rents, the mortgages, the interest rates, they're going up and up every other month.
correct. Yeah. So subject to and seller finance will work best at this time. When we can acquire the properties that were financed about 2-3 years ago, I think that will be the best time. So we can what you call it, take over a mortgage with about 2.5 to 75 or 3% mortgage loans.
Ah, good times.
Yeah, if we can find it. Um, Adil, how long have you worked for Pet Split?
Ooh, I think it's been 2 years now.
It's been
I
two years.
Yeah, I started doing some work in their construction department. In the midst of everything, PatSplit had a sister company that did turnkey construction. I did some of that, then I moved because I was always very fascinated with the operations aspect of PatSplit, especially with all the member relations and host relations. So I eventually moved towards this. So right now I am the general manager of Texas.
Okay, so what is your role as the regional manager of Texas?
At the end of the day, it's all about market health. So making sure we have happy members and happy hosts. That's how I like to simplify it. So whatever hosts need to stay happy, whatever members need to stay happy, if it's something from sales, if it's something from market, if it's something with product, um, or if it's just help in general. That's my goal.
So you talk to a lot of hosts, to a lot of members. Um, so everyone have their own side of the story, right? Everyone have their own interests.
Yep.
Everyone have their own needs.
So
Um, what do you find most interesting from the host and also from the members?
so from the host, it's a couple of things. First off, talking to investors who had a portfolio running for a good while, but is just underperforming because of the market, or funds that have to keep buying and are just buying bad deals, just for them to turn their ship around or buy something that is making so much sense even in this market is it really good. And then the other thing is learn a lot from. That's the best way to understand the business, and that's where your properties are going to be most personable. Members are going to have the best time, this and that. But then I was talking to a host, and the host said that, hey, I don't want to spend this much money and buy myself another job. I want to be able to be in a position that even though I'm collecting less rent, but I I'm focusing on other things, bigger things. So, just change of mindset, I guess. And with the members, it's the completely different story. So our member demographic is generally your workforce housing. So essentially, your blue collar workers, or the people that work in market strips and factories. So, in just in the past year, I firsthand have seen about 5 people who were living in patchlets and saved enough money to buy their own houses. 2 of those people ended up becoming hosts as well. So not only did they buy their properties, but they actually started putting them on rent on patchlets. So talking to a member who was living in his car, moved to a patchlet, got a job, got a second job, moved in his apartment, and then eventually bought his own house in the course of 6-8 months. Never gets old. And there's just a lot of things. Bobby and Victoria, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but essentially, I remember talking to a host or talking to a member, and the member was saying he was really grateful, and he said that, hey, this is the first house that has stainless steel appliances. This is the first house that I've been in that has hard surface countertops. All these things I feel like most of the times we take for granted, but it's just a lot of value add and a lot of game changing items for a lot of people. So just being in this position, seeing this firsthand, it never gets old. It's always gratifying. It's always keeps me energized.
Yeah, that is awesome. And yeah, we feel grateful we can contribute to the society by providing affordable housing for them. Um, Without this concept, I don't think it will be possible with the purchase price, with the interest rate so high. Um, yeah, it's very hard. But with the pet split concept, it enables us to do it.
I mean, imagine if you have a room in a good location for 700, 750 a month at tops. I know we have a lot of rooms that are 600, $500, 550. All these things are still there. So imagine that you're getting a room in a good location under $700, everything paid for. If you go out and try to get something on your own, not only do you have to pay, let's say, $1,100, $1,200 on the rent, but then you have utilities, you have repairs, maintenance,
Security
and all these things as
deposit
well. So
and security deposit too.
security deposit as well.
Yeah, oftentimes you don't get your security deposit back.
Huh. Yeah.
Different market. Also, how what do you think the expansion will be in each existing core market?
So I know that opening new markets is always going to be interesting because end of the day, the goal for Passport is going to be because we have a program called Passport Anywhere that you can potentially have a Passport in the middle of Wisconsin, and it's going to work because even though when we say a core market, you can have a house that is not a core market, you would still get all the benefits of pad split, that is, rent collection and us vetting the members and providing the member service, member support 24/7. The only thing that is missing right now is us not providing any paid marketing. So we wouldn't be paying Google or Facebook to promote your property in the middle of, let's say, Wisconsin. However, um, if anyone in Wisconsin searches for a room for rent, high chance Password is still going to show up because of all organic work that our team has done. If they search up in some of these, marketplaces or other listing websites, apartment.com, this or that, they would still see your room because that's something that we also use. So high chance your rooms are still going to be, picked up or rented out. And if nothing else, you can always do something locally, some sort of local marketing, and still get that result. That what I feel like is going to be our biggest, I guess, unlock. Um, I know every quarter, every few weeks, being a tech company, we try to improve our processes, we try to improve the product. You being a host, you must have seen a lot of things change in the past year. So
Yes.
every week, every other month, we try to improve the product, try to improve the process. Things always get better here at PathSplit. So if you're asking short term, I would say, just these small tweaks that are happening. And obviously that means that hosts are getting a better time. That means that members are seeing a better, experience so that they're living here for longer. So as long as we keep improving these things, the marketplace health is always going to get better. Second, as far as the long-term vision, I can't really say much because who knows what the market is going to entail. If things go how they're going right now, I can just tell you that we're expecting big things to happen.
Do you think the pet split market is going to be saturated in any city anytime soon?
I mean, logically, I would think it should, but seeing markets like, let's say, even Atlanta has like 5,000, 6,000 units, and it's still doing really well. It's still, 95% occupancy. It still is growing at the same space, a lot faster than it was in the past, performing. So you would think that it would get saturated, but if you look at the actual data, how many people in the US earn less than $46,000, you would realize that even if you capture like, a small fraction of this, very small fraction of this, there's no way we're going to see any saturation. So seeing the data, seeing the studies that we see, I know there's no saturation coming anytime soon. But I can completely understand from the outside perspective how it would seem that, hey, uh, we only have, such a small city. Should we have this many rooms? Yeah, there's definitely a need for affordable housing that
Yes.
we just hope that we put a dent on. There's no way we can fix it, but we're just trying to, I guess, put a dent on the issue. I mean, so this is how I like to look at it. If in 5 years all the markets get saturated, I'm going to be very happy because that means that people no longer need affordable and co-living houses.
Yes.
But being practical, being realistic, uh, like you said, it's probably going to increase. But yeah, if it gets saturated, I think we should all be happy because rising tides lifts all boats. So if
Yes.
times are going so good that no one really needs affordable houses, then
Yes.
yeah, everything else is going good too.
Yeah. From that, I think. So yeah, I don't see pet split will slow down anytime soon.
Hmm, Fortunately, yes, that's how
Yes.
I.
If for let's say Victoria wants to invest on her first pet split, so what would you recommend? Which market would you recommend for Victoria to start?
So I guess everyone is different, whatever your appetite is. For most people, like Bobby said, even for me, like Bobby said, that starting from your own backyard, that helps. Some people are open to, being remote and open to buying in other markets. If you are, run numbers on every market because every market is different. Some places have lower barrier to entry, acquisition is cheaper. Some places acquisition is cheaper, construction is high. Some people, everything is okay-ish. So whatever your risk tolerance is, however risk adverse you are, I guess it depends on the individual. I would suggest, if nothing else, what the market that you know best. So I try to invest in Houston and Dallas because I feel like it's going to appreciate most, even though a lot of people have been saying that for years, but I feel like now it's finally time that we're going to see a lot of appreciation in Texas since there's have been a lot of migration. Uh, but if you have any other insights or any other opinion on any other market, start with that. The concept needs to work in every place. The concept is there for a national level because everyone needs affordable housing. So think less of the concept and think more about what market you want your portfolio to be in. If it needs to be in your backyard, do wherever you are. If it needs to be in places that are bound to see some appreciation, I guess search on that. If you need it to be in places that are stable, then see whatever fits your description of being stable.
That is awesome. Adil, if people want to reach out to you, how can people reach out to you?
Hmm. Yeah, my email address is adeel@pathsplit.com. That's ADEEL, pathsplit.com. You can always reach out to anyone from Sub2. I'm sure if they don't have my contact, they must have someone else's contact from PathSplit. They're just as helpful. But yes, I know I like to work with hosts very closely, and especially with hosts like Bobby, who are, not only expanding but also providing services. So if you ever run into Bobby, I'm sure he can give my contact as well.
Okay, awesome, awesome.
I am trying to form like a Facebook community where any aspect related questions, if you're in an LOI stage where you're trying to understand the product, or you've already signed an LOI, or you're trying to look for properties, have a small community for them. And then if you're already a host, then have a different community for them. So that's something that I'm kind of excited about. I feel like that's going to help a lot of people. That's going to help answer a lot of questions. So yeah, that's something that is always going to be available.
So that the group for hosts that have already a pet split and about to have a pet split in Texas, or can it be open for anyone who are interested to invest in Texas?
So the group that I know you've joined in, that's just for hosts that already have properties in Texas. But
Okay.
I just created another group for people who are interested in investing in passive, or essentially have signed an LOI. When you meet with a sales executive, you talk to them, they understand what your goals are, and if it's a good fit, they send you an LOI to sign. Once you sign that LOI, you're gonna get a link to this group that is going to help you see what other people are doing, that is going to help you see what other people are running into, and if there are good deals, good properties. Anyone who has signed an NOI, they would probably get access to this group, which is essentially a group for all markets, allows everyone in that stage to see what everyone else's concerns are. We would probably be putting out a lot more content there around, how to find the right property, or if there are wholesalers, some sub-2 assignments that are a good fit for PathSplit, those are going to be ideally shared there too. So people who are looking for properties can actually get those properties. Um, yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I think that's going to be a good addition. I think that's going to help a lot of people, like I said.
Yes. How about the one that you created for those interested to invest in Texas? Are they available already?
Yeah, the group that you're in, I think that's just for people who are already a host. So
Okay.
if you're interested in investing in Texas, I think the LOI group should be more than enough, because you can see not only how Texas is doing, but other markets are doing, and learn more about, what a good property looks like. Once
Okay.
you are a host, once your property is on the platform, then talking to other hosts, seeing what they're doing, learning from them. I think that's where the Texas group will come in.
When do you think you can increase your rents from 170 to 175? When do you think you can do like 180 or 190? When would that be?
Yeah, so it depends on, I guess it's a free market, right? So it depends on how the market is responding. I'm going to start with 175. If, people are flocking towards it, I'm going to see if I could do 180. If I see slower demand, I'm going to do 170. But given the study that I've done, especially in this location, I am looking at 170. So I'm going to try to stick to that. So yeah, starting at 175. However, let's say if a person has moved in, you can only increase the rent after the first 6 months. Again, whenever you're looking at passive operations, understand that this is a mission-driven company for people who want to rent rooms, right? It's hosts are making money, we're making money, that's great. But end of the day, everything is focused on how we can make the member experience better. So you can't really increase the rent until 6 months. And even after that, you can only increase it by, I believe, $5 or $10, something like that. So yeah, if let's say the rooms get booked at 125, 170, 175, I would probably increase it to 180 in the next 6 months.
I see. Or then you can also increase it when they move out if the market shifts, right? And then you'll be able to just wait until they leave, and then you'll be able to maybe increase it then.
Yep, that's also a good point to increase. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I usually do. I do not increase when the member is still there, even though the price is still the same as the first time they move in. I still have a few rooms that I rented out under market value, but the member has been there for a while. So yeah, I just let them keep the same rate. Um, I do not need to increase for like $5 or $10 a week, but to decrease the members' experience. Um, I think yeah, I can afford to wait until they move out. So if they are still happy living in in those rooms, yeah, I typically do not increase the rent.